You're going to hear from all of the candidates tonight saying that they will fight Trump and lower costs. I ask you tonight to listen for the proof versus the DC talking point, because we deserve somebody who is going to show up, who is going to listen.
I am running for Congress because America is in critical condition. A few weeks ago, I took care of a gentleman, Mr. S., who came in with a life-threatening complication of diabetes. He has a full-time job but couldn't afford his medication. No one should require the ICU because basic medical care is too expensive. But that's what we see under Tom Kean Jr. and Donald Trump. I was appointed by President Obama and served in 3 White House administrations. At the Department of Veterans Affairs, I expanded access to primary care for veterans. And right here in New Jersey, I took on the insurance companies and helped to pass legislation that stops them from denying essential medical care. In business, I helped to grow a small startup into a multi-billion-dollar business. That's the kind of leadership that we deserve here in CD7. And as your member of Congress, I will fight Trump to make sure that we protect our democracy, that we lower costs, that we restore our shrinking middle class, and that we fix our healthcare system. Now, I fight for the lives of CD7 residents right here in Rahway Hospital. And just like I fight here, I'm ready to take that fight to DC because we deserve better than Tom Kean Jr. Thank you.
Mr. Varela.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. There we go. My name is Brian Varela, and I'm running to unseat Tom Kean Jr. because what this moment demands right now is someone who is a fighter. Donald Trump and his cronies have changed the rules to the game, and we need someone who knows how to fight, and I am someone who's fought my entire life. I fought to pay my way through school when my parents couldn't afford it. I fought to keep my family afloat when my mom got sick and my parents went out of business. I fought to raise my younger brother when my mom passed 2 years later. He was 13. That was hard. I fought to build a business from scratch during COVID, and I built it into one of the fastest growing companies in the country. And I want to continue that fight. Over the past few years, I fought to expand the Democratic Party, especially in the red-leaning parts of the state. And that's the kind of fight that we need right now. And I want to take that fight down to DC. I want to fight for affordability because the squeeze on working class and middle class families is too much right now. I want to fight for Medicare for all because the fact that we pay the most amongst developed nations per capita, but somehow have one of the worst qualities of care amongst developed nations, to me is unacceptable. And last but definitely not least, I want to fight to defend our democracy. We've got an administration that is off the rails. We've got the Trump family enriching themselves to the tune of north of $1 billion. And as a first-generation Colombian American, I am appalled by the attacks that we're seeing in our immigrant communities. That's why I'm proud to say that I was the first candidate to ask for Noam's impeachment, and we need to dismantle Trump's ICE. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bennett.
I believe we can create a future where every kid has a fair shot at the American dream, just like I did, where you can work hard and build the life you want to be able to build, and where everybody feels safe in their community. That is not what is happening in this country right now. This Trump administration is destroying our democracy. They are enriching themselves, and they are making our problems worse. Tom Kean Jr. is a coward, and he is complicit. We are going to hold him accountable in November.
The man that you're all running against, Congressman Tom Kean Jr., has been missing from Washington for more than 2 months due to an unspecified health issue. His office has not provided any specific explanation for what's wrong or when he might be back. So obviously, we all wish him the best. But as an elected official, what duty do you think politicians have to be open with constituents about their health issues? And I'll start with Mr. Varela on this.
Sure, and to your point, Joey, we all wish Congressman Kean that he's okay and that he's healthy. But look, at the end of the day, you're a public servant. And while I don't think you need to be putting out your own personal medical history out there, you at the very least have a responsibility to be communicating with your constituents and with your district. And while Congressman Kean has been absent for the most part, no town halls, these scripted telephone things that are kind of weird, there's not a lot that's really changed from then to now. He's still absent, and he is still not communicating with constituents. So frankly, I think that we're maybe more aware of it because of the health reasons behind it. But from my perspective, nothing's really changed.
If you were missing work, you would tell your boss. And Tom Kane Jr.'s boss is the people. He did not tell us. That's it. And in the time that he did not show up for work, he has raised more than $600,000 just from corporate PACs alone. That tells you who his boss is.
We are watching someone who has a history of just avoiding reaching out to his constituents and being available to his constituents. And we deserve more in CD7.
Donald Trump beat us for a variety of reasons. He appealed to young voters. He appealed to men. He appealed to Hispanics. Ladies and gentlemen, I am literally a young Hispanic male. I love it when that gets a laugh. But furthermore, we saw Tom Kane Jr. ride those coattails, right? And I think that what we are seeing across the country previously has been a lack of energy within the Democratic Party. And the reason for that is that we continue to nominate the same establishment type Democrats. These are Democrats that don't understand what working class and middle class families are going through. And it's time that we bring in an outsider, someone that knows what it's like to live the struggle, someone that can connect, someone that knows what are the kitchen table issues that keep parents up at night. Because at the end of the day, when I talk to voters, it's not left versus right, it is top versus bottom, and they're going to vote for the candidate who's going to provide the issues to what they're seeing every day.
This next question.
So, David, since I used some of my time, I just want to rebut something that Dr. Shaw said.
Actually, unless you were attacked, in New Jersey, attacked is a very unique word. We're just going to move on. And also, as long as I'm speaking, I love this audience, but would remind everybody to please withhold their applause so that we can hear from the candidates.
Citizens United is single-handedly one of the worst things that has ever happened to this country.
We'll hear re-argument this morning in case 08205, Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission. Mr. Olson.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the Court, robust debate about candidates for elective office is the most fundamental value protected by the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech.
People that are making the transition from getting out of the military and moving into their second career is really hard. It's really hard for a lot of us. And so I spent a lot of time volunteering in that space. But I think there's an opportunity here when we look at apprenticeships, because we have not modernized that program from a federal level for decades. And so we have an opportunity to make sure we're modernizing and streamlining the processes. I'm just going to use the carpenters as an example here, because there's an 11,000 wait list for people that want to join the carpenters apprentice program. And so this is a win-win. We can make sure that we have more good union jobs in our district to be able to get more projects done from an infrastructure perspective, and also make sure that we can help people be able to get into programs like that. So those are the types of things that I'm going to focus on in office.
Now, I come from the medical profession. Trump has actually declassified nurses that want to pursue advanced degrees, calling them unprofessional, and that's capping the amount that they can borrow. He is taking away our choice, and we shouldn't stand for it.
I support conditioning aid to Israel up to U.S. law, international law, humanitarian law. Look, I firmly believe in Israel's right to exist, to defend itself against the horrible terrorist attacks from Hamas on October 7th. And I can support Israel and say that Netanyahu has been horrible. As a Jew who has deep ties to Israel, it makes my heart bleed anytime I see a video of something. This past week, I was honored to join at the Islamic Center for a forum. And I shared my own story of my grandparents surviving the Holocaust. And they survived because in 1939, they were taken on a boat to Palestine. And a gentleman came over to me after and shared his story of having 20 family members in Gaza right now. And it broke my heart. The conversation ended with a hug and a tear from at least one of us. But we have to remember in this conflict about our shared humanity. Thank you.
Should Congress ban foreign individuals or foreign companies or foreign governments from purchasing American farmland and family farms like you have throughout the 7th District. Should they do that? Is that a role of Congress?
I think the role of Congress is to make sure that everyone has the resources they need to live a good life and to make sure that they can raise their families. And when I talk to farmers in our district, they're talking about how Trump's foreign policies, including what he's done with tariffs, including what's happened with the price of pesticides, are causing them to say, look, I'm not sure I can keep my farm alive. That's what we should really be focusing on. This is a big picture answer to your question, which is to say, I want to make sure that I listen to the people that know these problems the most. There are farmers sprinkled across in Somerset and in Hunterdon and many of our counties, and to make sure that these folks that understand the challenges they're facing, that we actually deploy solutions. Now, I also want to take this opportunity to just remind everyone that Tom Kean Jr. has been silent on this issue too. He lives in our district and he has said nothing and done nothing to help the farmers in our district.
Thank you. Mejia recently proposed a $25 an hour federal minimum wage. Raise your hand if you would vote with her on that. Okay. Raise your hand if you are open to replacing some of the money in politics with public financing of congressional campaigns. These are people that have done a lot of call time that would like to do other things. I asked this question in 2024, and both general election candidates, they both at the time said that they believed there was intelligent life on other planets. Raise your hand if you believe intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe. Okay. We have a general.
I wonder if intelligent life exists here.
A community wrapped their arms around them and gave my family a shot. And that's why I'm standing up here today. And so when a place gives you a shot, you never turn your back on it. You stand up and you fight. And so I'm asking all of you to give me a shot now. I'm asking for your vote. And if you give me that, I will stand up and fight for you and your families every day so that we can all feel like everything is better in New Jersey. Thank you.
My background as a military veteran, private sector leader, and mom uniquely positioned me on being able to do that. It is a scary time in this country right now, but we have something here in this district that we can do about it, because this is one of the most important races in the country this year to take back the House. And the news from last week makes it even more important. So I'm asking for your vote on June 2nd. Would love to have you on the team. Please go to Rebecca Bennett for Congress to get more involved and learn more. But thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Varela.
So this is a district that's literally moving by 1 to 2 points every single year. We need someone that can build a coalition. Look, I am not the establishment pick. I am not the DC pick. I am the outsider. And in spite of not being the DC pick or the establishment pick, I have built one of the broadest coalitions of anyone in this race. And what's particularly interesting is that this coalition is not a moderate coalition or it's a progressive coalition. It's a coalition that spans the entire ideological spectrum. I've been endorsed by Mayor Baraka, my dear friend Patricia Campos Medina, and I've also been endorsed by the former Senate President Steve Sweeney. I've been endorsed by Democrats that are winning in Trump double-digit areas. These are Democrats that know what it takes to win tough fights, and they've signed on to me. Secondly, we need someone who's going to expand our base. As I mentioned earlier, Trump attracted young voters, men and Hispanics. I'm uniquely positioned to bring back the base that we lost in 24. He can't call me, Kean can't call me anti-business. I am a business owner. He can't call me, you know what, vote for me.
Thank you.
I hate the
Shah.
60-second thing.